Jidao+Half Jibi and half Xuan, plot flow, story flow, no system, new longevity mode, different world of the red dust, blind Lin soul, the 9th generation of the Zhengui is compiling a corpse collector. Collecting, sewing, embalming, refining, driving, and burning corpses take your life to practice and obtain the divine level magic technique Jianshou Yangu method. The supernatural powers of sorcery are dishes in pots, day and night contemplation is fire, offering longevity as firewood every day, and raising immortal insects is called Gu. Realms from low to high. Martial arts realm, inviting Yin realm, borrowing life realm, half-corpse realm, soul skin realm, ghost envoy realm, indifference realm to cultivate deceit through longevity. The power is boundless. Gradually discovering the big secrets hidden in this world. The underground prison of the Zhengui is truly a gluttonous and eerie corpse. The world is infinite. There are 9 unknown places. Mysterious mist, mysterious blood pool, mysterious ship, mysterious tomb, mysterious abyss, mysterious wilderness, mysterious sea, mysterious yuan, mysterious temple. When he opened the eyes of the night owl, discovered that the moon in the sky had changed from 1 to 9. In every moon, an ancient and eerie existence is imprisoned with chains. The shadow of the body grows long and tiny, bowing down to gnaw on something. The huge figure that obscures the sky seems to easily shatter the sky. That is the oldest and most mysterious and eerie master. Looking down at all beings like a toy. Lin's soul is in the prison, laughing as the court changes. Hundreds of years have passed. When Lin's soul walked out of the prison, he has become the strange god of this world. Chapter 1. Dayu Corpse Collector, Inherited Guardian of the Heavenly Prison. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lin's soul, it's time to go collect the corpse. Lin's soul, who was sleeping, was pushed on the shoulder by someone. He stood up silently and took his cane, his ears trembling as he listened to the sound. Follow the group ahead and silently walk out of the prison. Lin's soul has traveled through time, and this body is simply speechless. Seriously injured, still born blind. My predecessor is only 15 years old this year. A few days ago, he lost his virtue after drinking and started talking to others before taking action. However, he was slapped by that person and vomited blood uncontrollably. 3 days ago, he passed away and was occupied by Lin's soul from the Blue Star. As Lin's soul crossed, a river of time suddenly flowed into his soul. Lin's soul is blessed to the soul, instantly enlightened. Understand that you have achieved the ultimate goal that everyone dreams of. Longevity. Due to the infusion of time, Lin's soul has an endless lifespan. Cough. Lin's soul supported his left chest, coughing faintly. There was a sharp pain in the area where his palm was pressed, with a red palm print being cut out one by one. It was the palm left by the person who injured him that day. This frail body constantly reminds him. Having an infinite lifespan, one has a body that could suddenly die at any time. Long life does not mean immortality. Diseases, swords, disasters, and so on can easily kill him as he is now. The palm on the left chest is very vicious. At the time of filming, I couldn't see anything special. But it erupted 1 day later, causing his predecessor to suffer for a day and night before taking his life. The palm print penetrated through his body, emitting a faint cold energy that constantly eroded his body. I have seen more than a dozen doctors in the past few days, all of whom have expressed their coldness and inability to turn the tables. He could fall to the ground and die at any moment. The primary problem for Lin's soul now is to solve the problem of this palm print. Step by step the group are all the lowest level white soldiers, and this time they are going to do the least desirable job of collecting corpses. No one spoke, everyone was moving forward with their heads down. Lin Hun is blind, but her hearing is exceptional. Silently moving forward, all the paths passed are recorded and stored in my mind. The underground dungeon is very large, and after walking out, there is also a very grand courtyard on the ground. Zhengui. The Zhengui was the most powerful organization under the rule of the Dayu dynasty. Its functions concentrate on the three aspects of yamen, public security, and suppressing eerie activities. This is a strange world. The heavenly prison is just the organization at the very end of the Zhengui. The group of Lin Hun, also known as the White Soldiers, are the lowest level members of the entire Zhengui system. Above the White Soldiers, there are also Black Soldiers, Yamen Guards, Constables, Forbidden Soldiers, and Sorcerers, among others. Forbidden Soldiers and Sorcerers are both people who practice sorcery. The outside world collectively refers to it as cunning cultivation. Above that, there are many middle and high-level officials from the Zhengui, and the predecessors of these Lin souls are unknown. The Zhengui Yamen only has 872 rooms on the surface, not including the underground dungeon where Lin Hun and others are located. This shows the immense size of the town's secret agency. This is the pitiful amount of information he knows after digesting his predecessor. The prison guard in front walked out of the prison and immediately changed his attitude after entering the ground-level Zhengui Yamen. One by one, they lowered their eyebrows and eyes, walking with their heads down, afraid of offending anyone. The other members of the Zhengui saw that the uniforms behind them were embroidered with a big, white, character, and each one had a disgusted expression. How far away, afraid of getting moldy. White soldiers usually engage in activities such as collecting, burning, sewing, and burying corpses. Dealing with dead people all year round gives off an ominous aura in one's body. A white soldier. It's also ominous. It is precisely for this reason that the lifespan of white soldiers is generally not long, and they are famous for their short lifespan. Naturally, no one in the entire town was willing to give them a second glance. Lin Sol walked forward with his cane, silently recording the route along the way. After leaving the Zhengui Yamen, there is a Yamen attendant wearing a sword waiting at the entrance. Seeing these people arrive, he said in disgust. Scratching, why did you come? Come with me now. The white soldiers, led by a soldier named Lao Zhao. He is under 40 years old, with gray hair and a slightly curved back. Quickly accompanied by a smile, he said, Master, I'm sorry for being late. Bad luck. The Yamen runner turned around and left, while the soldier Lao Zhao quickly signaled for everyone to follow. The Yamen runner is in a very bad mood today. I thought I had nothing to do today and wanted to go to Gulan to listen to music. Unexpectedly, a sudden homicide occurred and he was tasked with guiding Bai Zhu to collect the body. Bad luck. These white soldiers are all unlucky one by one. The Yamen runner has martial arts skills and deliberately walks at an extremely fast speed. This is a painful experience for a group of white soldiers whose bodies are already weak. Despite risking his life, he couldn't catch up with the steps of the Yamen runner. In no time, the figure of the Yamen runner was lost. Especially Lin Sol, he took 3 steps and coughed. Pulled to the end of the team. Lao Zhao glanced at Lin Sol with concern and gave the other white soldiers a glance. Everyone deliberately slowed down their speed, waiting for Lin Sol to catch up. Lin Sol, listen to Uncle Zhao's words, after completing today's task. Go find a doctor and take a good look, grab a pair of medicine to regulate. Uncle Zhao and Lin Sol's deceased father had a lifelong friendship. His care stems from sincerity. The white soldiers are the lowest ranking people in the Zhengui, so they usually take care of each other and huddle together to keep warm. Cough. Thank you very much, Uncle Zhao. I will definitely go. Lin Hun felt Uncle Zhao's words. My heart couldn't help but warm. Just this body is too stretched out. Uncle and brother, it's all due to Lin Sol's poor physical foundation that the team's progress has been slowed down. Lin Hun coughed and apologized to everyone. Zhao too shook his head and said with a bitter smile. It's not Lin Sol's fault for this. It's that bad guy who deliberately made things difficult for us. Hey, our white soldiers. After Zhao finished speaking, the other white soldiers also patted Lin Sol's shoulder. Don't blame yourself, everyone is colleagues and should help each other. Actually, everyone can see that it was the Yamen runner who deliberately made things difficult for the white soldiers. Even without Lin Sol, the Yamen runner would still do so. Zhao too, what should we do if we lose our boss? A white soldier asked Zhao Tu in a low voice with a mournful face. The Zhengui has strict discipline and a mountain of military orders. If something goes wrong while the white soldiers are on field work, it will delay the work of the Zhengui. Those who are held accountable by superiors may receive salary deductions for minor offenses, while those who are held accountable for serious offenses may face disciplinary action. Cough. Lin Hun wants to speak. The other few white soldiers waved their hands and smiled, saying, Lin Sol, it's not your fault. Don't blame yourself. It was the poor master who deliberately made things difficult for us lowly white soldiers. Hey. Other white soldiers also cast a kind gaze at Lin Sol. Zhao Tu searched for a high place and wandered around, but he couldn't find the figure of the Yamen runner. The white soldiers stood on the crossroads, not knowing which direction to go, sighing one by one. The position of Baizu in the Zhengui is too low, and anyone can bully him for no reason. Ahem. Heading east. Lin Sol covered his chest and said. Upon hearing Lin Hun's words, Zhao Tu and others turned around in shock and looked at him. Zhao Tu hurriedly asked, Are you serious? Lin Hun nodded. My ears are very agile. Upon hearing Lin Hun's words, Zhao Tu and Baizu suddenly smiled. Right, ha ha ha. Lin Sol, this time you have made a contribution. Let's go. Blind people cannot see, but their hearing is particularly good. Everyone immediately headed east and arrived at the entrance of a village monument with the words Mei'e Village written on it in about a stick of incense. Under the village monument, I indeed saw the Yamen runner. Seeing the white soldiers catching up, the intentionally mischievous Yamen runner was also slightly surprised. Hurry up and collect the corpse. The Yamen runner snorted and entered the Mei'e village. Zhao Tu and others dared not say much and hurriedly followed the Yamen runner into Mei'e village, arriving at a house. A constable and 5 Yamen officials stood in front of the tightly closed house, anxiously waiting. Seeing that the white soldiers such as Lao Zhao finally arrived, he immediately opened the gate of the house. In Mei'e village, a total of 23 people died, and Baizu quickly restrained himself. Old rule. Don't ask a single word. Cremation on the spot. The leading constable whispered to Lao Zhao. Zhao nodded immediately and said, Yes, sir. Zhao Tu entered the courtyard with Lin Hun and others, and the door slammed shut behind him. It seems like I'm afraid that the white soldiers and corpses will run out. Lin Sol skillfully took out a cowhide belt from his backpack behind him and wrapped it around his hands, while a gauze wrapped around his mouth and nose. Change into clothes made of cowhide for collecting corpses. Sewn with cowhide. Can withstand wear and tear. This is the standard procedure for the white soldiers to collect corpses, and others have also changed their clothes. At this moment, Lao Zhao lit 3 incense sticks and murmured in his mouth. Unfair has its head and debt has its owner, making a living is beyond our control. Touch your body. Don't blame me, don't blame me. Blessed by the gods. Early ascent to the paradise. Insert 3 incense sticks in the southeast corner of the courtyard and wait quietly. Not a bit fragrant, offensive. Fragrant head broken, escape quickly. Fragrant length, quick return. This is the mnemonic for Baizu to collect corpses. The first sentence means that if 3 incense sticks cannot be lit, it may be someone's words and actions that offended the body. The second sentence means that if the 3 lit incense sticks suddenly go out or the incense sticks are inexplicably broken, it indicates that there is a great strangeness in this place and one must flee immediately, the faster the better. The third sentence means that if the length of the 3 incense sticks burned is different, then it is not suitable to collect the corpse today or other methods of worship need to be adopted before the corpse can be collected. This is the rule for Baizu to collect corpses, which must be passed down from generation to generation and followed. Everyone waited patiently for the 3 incense sticks to burn out, this time burning neatly and without any abnormalities in the middle. Zhao too then turned his head and ordered the people to. According to the old rule, each person has their own body, which should be dragged out and placed in the middle courtyard. Pretend to be blind or deaf when you see or hear anything. Lin's soul, you can take care of a small one. Everyone else, do more work. This is taking care of the blind Lin soul. Others naturally have no objections and start their own work one after another. Thank you Uncle Zhao, thank you everyone. Lin's soul digested the memory of his predecessor collecting the corpse, but he didn't have much fear when facing the corpse. Before collecting the corpse, pay homage to the corpse first. He clasped his hands together and bowed 3 times to the body. Touch your body. Don't blame me, don't blame me. Blessed by the gods. Ascend the pure land early. Take out a corpse control talisman refined by the Zhengui Si Fu Lu Tang with your left hand and stick it on the body. The body of a child, touched by hand, has no scars on its entire body. I don't know how I died. The corpse collector has their own rule, which is to absolutely obey the orders of the servant. The corpse collector doesn't ask, doesn't listen or speak. These major events are managed by people above the level of sorcerers. The position of a white soldier is too low, only suitable for collecting corpses and other tasks. Lin Hun bent down and wanted to drag the corpse out. Cough cough. Perhaps the urgency of the journey just now made his already weak body even more weak. He bent down and tugged hard at the body. Perhaps it was an injury that affected the body. Just crossed over and forgot about the weakness of this body. Applied too much force. Touching old wounds. A uncontrollable and intense cough came, making my throat sweet. Puff. A mouthful of blood was coughed out. There is too much blood in this mouth, permeating the gauze that covers the mouth and nose. Lin Soul's blood was spraying on the face of the corpse. Coincidentally, it defiles the corpse control talisman. What Lin Soul cannot see is that when the corpse control talisman is contaminated with blood and loses its function. His blood was absorbed by the corpse of that child. Oh. After blood splattered on the body's face, the body suddenly came to life. Strangely open your eyes. Open your mouth and take a sudden breath at Lin Soul, who was bending over and coughing, right within reach. Due to being blind, Lin Soul did not see all of this. Being attacked without any defense. Corpse transformation. I only had time to think of these 2 words in my heart. Lin Soul immediately felt that the most precious thing in his body was being sucked away by the resurrected corpse. Lifespan. That eerie corpse is now crazily sucking on his lifespan. Although the appearance of the body was not visible, Lin Hun vaguely guessed in his heart at this moment. This corpse is completely unharmed. Did it die from being sucked dry by other strange creatures? But why did this corpse come back to life? Lin Soul had no idea the reason at all, he only felt that his lifespan was rushing into the eerie corpse in front of him in large numbers. During this process, Lin Soul couldn't make a sound and was stiff and unable to move at all. The body remained in place, appearing somewhat ambiguous with the eerie corpse. But as more and more lifespans are sucked away by that eerie corpse. The eerie corpse was writhing in pain. It seems like I want to stop. But infinite lifespan flowed continuously from the body of Lin's soul into the body of the eerie corpse. I can't stop at all. Opening the opening of an endless sea of life, how can it be said to stop and stop? Lin's soul couldn't see that the face of the eerie corpse was twisted in a strange way. It seems to be very painful to be supported by Lin's soul's endless lifespan. The eerie corpse is starting to swell. It's getting bigger and bigger. Like an exploding balloon. Bang! The body in front of me finally burst. Splat the flesh and blood all over Lin's soul. Lin Hun was stunned and didn't know what had happened. He quickly touched his body, except for the corpses covered in flesh and blood, he had nothing to do. Pop! It seems that something has fallen from this eerie corpse. Lin's soul immediately reached out and touched it, realizing it was a skin roll. The feeling of getting it should be made of sheepskin. The sheepskin roll was warm and covered in blood. I didn't find this skin roll when I touched the corpse just now. Could it have been hidden inside a corpse before? After self-explosion, it fell out. It must be like this. Step by step Zhao Tu and his team heard a sound and ran towards this room. Lin's soul immediately tucked the sheepskin roll into his intimate underwear. Lin's soul, what's wrong? Lao Zhao ran over and looked at Lin's soul, who was covered in blood, frowning and asking. Lin Hun shook his head helplessly as if nothing had happened. Cough cough. Unlucky, exploded corpse. What an explosive corpse. Cheating and exploding corpses are two different things. For Bai Zhu, encountering a corpse explosion is not a big deal. Seeing that Lin's soul was fine, Zhao Tu also felt relieved. The corpse collector has been in this industry for a long time and has encountered many strange things. Bombing corpses is one of them. The reason is unknown. It is ominous. Zhao Tu comforted and said. I will report truthfully to my superiors when I come back. You're fine. Change into clothes and go out to stack firewood, and encountering such a situation, one must truthfully report it. Zhao Tu must go through the process of Zhengui to take care of Lin's soul again. Lin Hun nodded and walked to the sink outside the courtyard with lingering palpitations. Take off your clothes, wash off the blood stains on your body, and wash away the clothes sewn from the cowhide of the corpse collector. Go to the kitchen at the Lijing mansion and take out the firewood and pile it up in the courtyard. Quickly, all the bodies were carried out by Zhao Tu and others, wrapped around the corpse control talisman issued by the Zhengui. Ignite a big fire in the yard, take off the clothes used for this corpse collection, dry them over fire, and put them away. The corpse collector completed his task, and Zhao Tu silently changed into his original white soldier clothes with everyone. Farewell to the Yamen runner and constable, and return to the dark prison of the Zhengui heavenly prison. Cough. Uncle Zhao, I'm too tired. Let's go back to my room and rest first. Lin's soul bid farewell to Uncle Zhao and other white soldiers. He walked back and forth, busy for half a day, and his body couldn't take it anymore. He had to quickly lie down. Well, go ahead. I'll have someone deliver the food to your room. Uncle Zhao and others gave him a pitiful glance, shook their heads, and went to the public bathhouse to take a shower. The Zhengui occupies a huge area, and the entire underground is hollowed out as a prison. The prison is very spacious, so each white soldier has their own independent prison. The house is not large. The value lies in freedom. Lin's soul returned to his own chamber and locked the door. I have confirmed again and again that the door is locked tightly. The blind man's house is not lit and consumes fuel. It was pitch black. Lying in bed, there was a severe cough. After calming down a bit, he covered his whole body with a blanket. Close your eyes and slowly open them. At this moment, a strange scene occurred. Lin Hun's eyes, which were blind from birth, began to shine in the pure black blanket. Everything around is gradually becoming clearer. In an absolutely dark environment, the blind forest soul can see things at night. Pure black. The eyes of the night owl. People with these eyes are called the night owl. A pure blind person cannot see anything during the day. But in the realm of no light, transform into a night owl, visible. He quietly took out the leather roll attached to his underwear from the bed. Concentrate your eyes and you'll be able to see in a moment. Above is a text and 3 pictures. Jinsho Yangu Method. The supernatural powers of sorcery are dishes in pots. Day and night contemplation is fire, offering longevity as firewood every day, and raising immortal insects is called Gu. This method, which has a lifespan of 500 years, has been initially completed and provides feedback to the host's blood flow, such as mercury, a solid body, a powerful tripod and 9 oxen, and the invincibility of all kinds of toxins. Feed this method with a lifespan of 1,000 years, and provide feedback to the host about their illness, such as the wind, the strong eye, the random immortal Gu, and the chaotic Gu killing in the air. Remember, when frying longevity and feeding life, one must use the method of visualization, otherwise the whole body will burst and die. Remember, feeding different qualities of lifespan results in different rewards. The color of lifespan is mostly the worst for the elderly, weak, sick, and disabled, with the 7 colors as the gods but only existing in legends, with most lifespans being 3 colors. After frying longevity, the host will receive feedback on the divine liquid, with 1 drop being poor, 7 drops being divine, and the majority being 3 drops. Divine liquid can nourish the body and produce various incredible magical effects. Surprisingly, it is a mysterious technique. Feed lifespan and obtain magic. In this eerie world, martial arts are just auxiliary, and sorcery is the fundamental. Jinsho Yangu method is a mysterious technique that feeds longevity to gain power. What Lin's soul lacks the most is his lifespan. Isn't this the only special skill he possesses that suits him well? Once a mysterious technique is completed, one can bleed like mercury, maintain a solid body, wield a powerful cauldron of 9 oxen, and remain invincible to all poisons. It is perfectly suitable for Lin's soul, who is weak and has a short life, to save his own life. What if it's fake? Lin's soul immediately smiled. This body is about to collapse, and the strange palm print on the chest is not something that an ordinary doctor can cure. If you don't practice magic, you probably won't be able to last for a month. Both sides are dead. Why not give it a try? Want to live? Think about it. That's worth the adventure. He immediately sat up and observed according to the picture on the Jinsho Yangu method. Chapter 2. Day and Night Visualization, offering birthdays every day. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There are 3 pictures in total, of which the first 2 are visualization pictures and the first one is luck pictures. There are several small characters below both visualization images. Martial contemplation diagram, please in contemplation diagram. And that luck map is a transparent human meridian map, covered with small characters, telling you how to use meridian luck and guide breathing. Day and night contemplation, offering longevity every day. It is impossible to offer a life of 500 years at once. According to the records of this sorcery technique, one must endure and offer longevity every day, which is known as water grinding technique. When frying longevity and feeding life, one must use the method of visualization. That is to say, the most crucial part of this trick is the 2 visualization images. Lin's soul took the sheepskin roll in his hand and carefully watched. At this moment, I realized that the parchment roll was not complete. There are tearing marks on the edge. That is to say, the sorcery that Lin's soul obtained was only a part torn from a more complete sorcery. Is the so called warrior and inviting in the boundary division of this eerie world. At this moment, there was a knocking outside the door. The food has been placed at the door. It turned out that Zhao too arranged for someone to bring him food. Lin's soul collected the sheepskin roll and woke up to retrieve the food from his grave. I am indeed too hungry. My body is already weak and I can't hold on without eating. With 3 or 2 bites of food and energy on his body, he immediately locked the door and opened the magic parchment roll again. First, let's take a look at the luck map. After only looking at it once, he imprinted the meridians, sequence, and precautions of the luck map in his mind. Perhaps it was at the moment of crossing over that the river of eternal life flowed into his soul. After being infused by the river of time, Lin's soul's memory was astonishing, unforgettable, and a memory palace automatically formed in his mind. Things that have been seen, heard, or passed by will automatically enter the memory palace's grid for storage. He quickly memorized the technique of frying longevity, feeding life, and nurturing goo on the sheepskin roll. At this moment, he turned his gaze to the first visualization. Martial artist visualization diagram. At the moment he looks at the visualization, the luck map and cultivation techniques imprinted in my mind actually started to work automatically. At this moment, the martial artist's visualization in front of Lin's soul is no longer flat. Fluttering, presented in 3 dimensions in Lin's soul's mind. All kinds of essence and techniques about the Jianshou Yangu method flooded into Lin's soul's mind. The combination of the visualization diagram, luck diagram, and cultivation techniques runs in an orderly manner in the spirit and body of Lin's soul. A huge grinding wheel appeared in his spiritual world. The grinding disc seems to want to rotate. But without driving force, it cannot rotate. Wisps of colorful lifespan gushed out of Lin's soul's body. The dazzling colorful light of lifespan flew into the middle of 2 huge grinding discs. The worst color for lifespan is monochrome, which mostly refers to the lifespan of the elderly, weak, sick, and disabled. The 7 colors are divine but only exist in legends, and most people's lifespan is 3 colors. My lifespan is actually colorful. This must be because of my own longevity. The lifespan that exists in legends. With the blessing of lifespan, the grinding disc began to rotate slowly and automatically. Click, click. According to the records of the martial arts, Lin Hun guarded his heart tightly and allowed his own lifespan to feed this grinding disc. 1 year, 2 years. 7 years. A lifespan of 7 years flew from within Lin's soul's body into the grinding disc. The grinding disc rotates slowly and terrifyingly. I wanted to give the grinding disc more lifespan, but I found that 7 years is already the limit. Fried longevity feeds life. 1 day for 7 years. No more. I waited for a long time. Finally. Dida. 7 drops of green crystal clear divine liquid flowed out from 2 grinding discs, falling into the body of Lin's soul. After frying longevity, the host will receive feedback on the divine liquid, with 1 drop being poor, 7 drops being divine, and most people receiving 3 drops. As expected, it's a divine level 7-drop feedback. As 7 drops of green divine liquid flowed into his body. Bang! At this moment, Lin's soul felt that the hidden, imprisoned, and bound life energy in his body was suddenly awakened by these green water droplets. A stream of life energy that originally belonged to oneself was revived from an unknown corner. Slowly but firmly following the order of the luck chart and meridians, nourishing his body. A comfortable sensation he had never experienced before, spinning in his body. With the operation of the mysterious technique, Lin's soul felt a great harmony that had never been before. I spent the night like this. At dawn, the big rooster raised in the chef's courtyard crowed. There is no sun in a prison. At dawn, we rely on chickens. Lin Huanhu opened his eyes. Having stayed up all night contemplating the martial arts scene, not only did he not feel any drowsiness, but he was also energetic. At this moment, he was pleasantly surprised to find that his breathing had never been smoother before. Even my cough has healed. Overnight visualization results. Terrifying. He opened his left chest, and the vicious palm print had disappeared at some point. The cold energy that had been penetrated into the bone and marrow by the palm print in the body has also disappeared. Divine liquid can nourish the body and produce various incredible magical effects. I've only been practicing for a whole night, and surprisingly, I have this kind of effect. It is indeed mysterious and incredible. Life, saved. Lin's soul walked out of bed to confirm that his memory palace had memorized 2 visualization pictures, a pair of luck pictures, and all the textual techniques on them clearly and accurately. A similar sheepskin roll automatically formed in his memory. Then I took out the fire folder and lit the sheepskin roll. The sheepskin roll was ignited and burned completely. Put all the ashes into the bowl where you eat, pour warm water and stir. Lin's soul drank the bowl of ash water in one gulp. Take birth lime from the cloth bag used for collecting the corpse and sprinkle it in the bowl to completely eliminate all traces. Wrap the bowl in cloth again, and use the wooden stick on the top door of the room to break it bit by bit and put it into your pocket. The parchment roll completely dissipated. Even everything related to parchment rolls has been completely erased. There is no more parchment roll in this world. After finishing all of this, Lin's soul opened the door of his own room and walked outside with a cane, his face as usual. Cough cough. Pretend to still cough. 3 steps for coughing, 2 steps for shaking. Unknown world. Go is the king's way. Due to the unique nature of the prison, 3 meals a day are prepared and delivered by the kitchen. Lin's soul arrived at the door of Zhao Tu's mansion, where the other white soldiers had already been waiting. Wait for Zhao Tu to come out before going to eat. In no time, Zhao Tu walked out of the room. Good morning, Zhao Tu. Say hello together, everyone. Zhao Tu enjoyed the feeling of being respected by everyone very much, smiled and looked at everyone, saying, "Let's go eat." More than 10 white soldiers followed behind Zhao Tu. According to age and generation, everyone should eat quietly in their respective positions. Lin Hunjing accompanied the last seat and ate silently. Lin's soul, I'll give you a day off today. After finishing your meal, go to the Imperial Guard to truthfully report the incident of yesterday's explosion, and then go out and find a doctor to take a good look at your health in the remaining time. Zhao, who was sitting on his head, said to Lin's soul. Thank you, Zhao Tu. I'll go right away. After finishing his meal, Lin's soul bowed to Zhao Tu and left. Seeing him leave, Zhao Tu and others shook their heads and sighed. Head, you said that when Lin's soul was only 15 years old, he encountered such an evil thing as exploding corpses. He was too ignorant. Yeah, no one in our industry knows that when collecting corpses and encountering explosions, there must be some sinister incidents happening within a year. Hey, Xiaomo hasn't married a woman yet, and hasn't left a seed yet. Everyone felt sorry for Lin Hun, especially Zhao Tu remembered that Lin Hun's father had asked him to take care of his only son before his death. I couldn't help but let out a heavy sigh. According to the regulations of the Zhengui, for the sake of safety and loyalty, the prison guards in the heavenly prison, whether they are white or black, are hereditary. If Lin's soul dies without leaving behind, then his family will be cut off. Lin's soul walked out of the prison, followed the route in his memory, lit his cane, and arrived at the forbidden city located in the center of the Zhengui. In the heavenly prison of the Zhengui, personnel are divided into 2 categories. White soldiers and black soldiers. Higher level officials also include yamen officials, who can wield swords, constables, who can improve their martial arts skills and become stronger constables, forbidden soldiers, those who practice mysterious techniques, collectively referred to as mysterious cultivators, and sorcerers, those who are stronger in prohibiting stroke. Lin Hun only knows these basic information. He doesn't know about more advanced affairs. Lin's soul used his cane to point the ground and moved forward on the right side. The memory palace in his mind, the path from the prison to the prison, was very clear. Stop. Bai Zhu is not staying in the underground dungeon. Why come to the forbidden city? The on-duty yamen guard at the entrance saw a white soldier embroidered with the word white on his back and scolded him in disgust. Lin Hun said calmly and confidently. The soul of the white soldier forest in the heavenly prison, who encountered an explosion when collecting corpses yesterday, came to the Forbidden City to report. Upon hearing his words, the Yamen runner cursed and let him in. Bad luck. Unfortunately, I am on duty. When encountering these short-lived creatures, they are either blind or exploding corpses. After entering, keep walking along the leftmost path and stop at the pond in front of the hall. Someone will naturally ask questions. Lin Hun nodded and pretended not to hear the Yamen runner's words, then nodded with his cane and entered the Forbidden City. According to the Yamen runner, follow the far left. The roads and buildings passed by the Forbidden City are all preserved in the Memory Palace. The location of the Forbidden City on the map of the Zhengui Sea in the Memory Palace slowly lit up. Walking about a mile, hearing a question. Baizu came here, but something strange happened while collecting the corpse. A soft voice came over. The person who speaks should be a guard. Prohibited soldiers. A practitioner of sorcery. Enjoying a high status in the Zhengui Sea. Report to Your Excellency, yesterday. Lin Sol truthfully reported the explosion that occurred yesterday when he went to collect the body. Of course, concealing one's own blood to bring the corpse back to life, sucking on one's own lifespan but instead self-destructing, and obtaining sheepskin rolls. The jailer listened and asked a few more detailed questions. Lin Hun answered truthfully. Okay, let's go back. The guard nodded and asked Lin Sol to leave. It is these forbidden soldiers who practice sorcery that are more polite than those Yamen runners and constables. Lin Hun muttered to himself, his cane pointing back to the original path. Although I have walked through it myself and remembered the way I came. But this is one of my own secrets, so I naturally won't easily expose it to others. Being low-key and indulging in sleazy development in the dungeon is the way. Lin Hun pretended to slowly use his cane to find his way before moving forward and leaving the Forbidden City. Arrived at the Academy of Zhengui. An old academy instructor who was about to die at any moment heard the sound of Lin Hun's cane tapping the ground. He spoke up and said, "A blind and white soldier, why come to the academy?" Baizu is a type of short-lived person who often enjoys that moment of joy in gambling houses, bars, and other places on weekdays. I have hardly seen Baizu who came to the academy. The key is that the person who came this time is blind, and there are no braille books here. Isn't he here to make a fuss? This also surprised the old teacher. Lin Sol stepped forward and took out a full 5 taels of silver and placed it in the hands of the academy instructor. Respectfully asked, I would like to ask, what are the realms of practicing sorcery? With silver, it is easy to get things done, and Lin Sol is asking about the most basic knowledge of this world. Even senior teachers don't have to worry about violating regulations, so they should truthfully report them one by one. After a moment, Lin Sol silently left the academy with his cane. There is eerie in this world, and humans practice extraordinary powers in order to resist it, which is called eerie magic. To cultivate sorcery, the levels from low to high are warriors, inviting een, borrowing life, half corpse, soul skin, ghost envoy, difference. Of course, there is still a higher realm, and the old teacher is not clear about it. Each realm is divided from low to high into initial, middle, and high stages. Lin Sol has already entered the level of sorcery yesterday. For the initial stage of the martial realm. Chapter 3. Weiqi Zhengui, guarding the Dayu Dynasty. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The various institutions in the Zhengui Yamen have also been clarified. It is divided into upper hall, middle courtyard, and lower room. There are 3 places in Shangshang Hall. Inke Hall, Immortal Temple, and Buddha Hall. The upper hall has a side hall, a guard hall, a constable hall, a soap official hall, a public examination hall, a talisman hall, a academy, and a martial arts training ground. The middle courtyard has a pyrotechnic courtyard, a servant courtyard, a kitchen courtyard, a stable, and so on. Shefang refers to the prison, where there are white and black soldiers. The upper hall is filled with prominent figures from the Zhengui, who dare not discuss lightly. The Shangtang is the core of the operation of the Zhengui, among which the Forbidden City is the strongest and most mysterious. Leaving the academy, Lin Sol left the Zhengui with the sign given by Zhao Tu. Find a big river and smash hundreds of bowl fragments into your pocket while walking, throwing them into different positions on the river. In this way, all the traces that recorded the skin roll were completely erased. After finishing all of this, I went to a familiar doctor and asked him to grab a pair of medicine and take it on the spot. A severe cough before taking medication. After drinking the medicine, he miraculously recovered. Doctor, your medicine is so magical that I stopped coughing. Lin Hun stopped coughing in front of the doctor. He also gave the doctor the usual copper coins as a reward. Bai Zhu earned silver money in exchange for his life due to his involvement in the short-life farming profession. The salary silver issued by the Zhengui can be said to be very generous. So the predecessor had enough silver to squander. Seeing Lin Hun leaving his clinic with gratitude, the doctor muttered to himself in confusion. Did I mistakenly add any medicine to his prescription that would cure that short-lived herb? I need to write it down quickly. Lin Sol left the clinic and walked through the bustling commercial street. The blind person's sensitivity is the most sensitive, with a cold feeling appearing intermittently on their back. Lin Sol let out a thud in his heart. Who is this being targeted by? After changing directions several times, there was always a feeling of being targeted by some terrifying presence behind me. He immediately picked out places with many people and never took small paths. He quickly walked towards the Zhengui. Fortunately, there was nothing wrong with the journey, and it wasn't until we entered a 10-mile radius of the Zhengui that the cold feeling behind us disappeared. The Zhengui is like a sleeping giant beast, terrifying. A radius of 10 miles. Xiao is strictly prohibited. Lin Hun quickly returned to the prison, eating, bathing, and returning to his death chamber as usual. If Bai Zhu doesn't have any tasks on weekdays, his work is still very easy. Zhao Tu and his team are playing around with money. Seeing that Lin Sol had returned, he also waved his hand and said hello. Lin Hun happily said in front of everyone. Uncle Zhao, I wish I had listened to you earlier. Today, the doctor grabbed a pair of medicine for me and stopped coughing on the spot. Uncle Zhao listened to the complaint and said. You just don't believe in evil. If you're sick, why don't you go see a doctor? Your body is still weak, go back and rest. Thank you, Uncle Zhao, for your concern. Then I'll go back and rest. Okay, go back and rest well. Keep your energy and strive to buy a mother.in.law as soon as possible to leave a seed for your Lin family. Hee, everyone listens to Uncle Zhao. Everyone was playing with money when they heard that Lin Hun's cough had been cured. I just cursed that Lin Hun should have gone to see the doctor long ago and stopped paying attention to him. Lin Hun returned to his own room and locked the door, his eyes turning cold. The predecessor was just a short-lived species and would not be targeted by people for no reason. There may be two reasons for being targeted. First, the person who slapped him wants to see why his predecessor hasn't died yet. The second is related to the body of the exploded corpse, which means it is related to the Jianshou Yangu law. No matter which one, I can't afford it now. Try not to leave the Zhengui in the near future, only a powerful Zhengui can protect me. I must quickly cultivate the Jianshou Yangu technique and become stronger. Anyway, my lifespan is endless, and I happen to be practicing this mysterious technique. Lin Sol immediately began practicing today's Jianshou Yangu method. This method emphasizes a step-by-step approach, daily frying and daily feeding of life. Haste makes waste. Simmer slowly over low heat, fry day after day for longevity. Feeding for 500 years is necessary to achieve a small success. That night, Lin Sol used martial arts as a means of operation, supplemented by visual imagery. I fed myself 7 years of colorful life again. Received 7 drops of crystal clear divine liquid as feedback. His body can feel stronger and stronger. The coldness in the body was completely dispelled, and the previous stubborn illness gradually healed. A healthy and young body has returned, and his complexion is getting better and better. Of course, all the credit was passed on to the nameless old doctor who had been cured by the medicine. Late at night 3 days later. Lin Sol is in the dark and unlit prison. The night owl's eyes stared at his healthy and rosy cheeks reflected in the basin water for a moment. The blood flow recorded on the scroll should have become mercury. The white soldiers of the heavenly prison spend their days underground in darkness, and their faces are pale and ischemic when dealing with corpses all year round. My abnormally healthy complexion will surely make others doubt me. Lin Hun took the cloth bag he used for collecting corpses and carefully applied some ointment used for embalming corpses to his face. The ointment is used to make up the body after sewing. I didn't expect this ointment to be used on my own face. Make yourself look pale and unhealthy like other white soldiers. The Zhengui deals with eerie things on a daily basis. The mortality rates of white soldiers, black soldiers, yamen guards, and constables are also high. Collecting corpses for one's own people and restraining their appearance after death is also one of the tasks of the white soldiers. So these things are in the cloth bags of the white soldiers. After finishing all of this, he finally arrived at the door of Zhao Tu's dormitory. Having breakfast together, Lin Sol deliberately pulled Zhao Tu who was about to play with money. Zhao Tu asked the others to leave first and whispered, "Lin Sol, what's up?" "Uncle Zhao, I have taken the medicine from that doctor and my body is much better than before. But a few days ago, I encountered a bomb and was mentally frightened. Uncle Zhao, can I apply for internal work first within these 3 months without going out? Take the right medicine from that doctor and take good care of your body." Lin Sol has calculated. The maximum daily lifespan is 7 years, and after 70.1 days, one can fry for 500 years to reach the initial completion mentioned in the Jianshou Yanggu method. The piercing gaze on the long street outside made Lin Hun have to be careful and careful. The safest place is in the eerie and powerful Zhengui. Get up and become stronger first. Upon hearing Lin Hun's words, Zhao Tu glared at him. "Lin Sol, you are really ignorant and inexperienced. The white soldiers in the heavenly prison are divided into 10 districts based on their heavenly stems. A, B, C, D, E, G, G, X, R, and G. Our team is from Gui district. The work of going out to work is rotating. The next time it's our turn to go out for field work in Gui district, I don't know if it will take a long time. You, don't wander around the kiln if you have nothing to do, your mind and body have been emptied by the women. Take advantage of your youth to take care of your body, by a mother.in.law, or leave a queen for your Lin family. Also, I will try my best to minimize your daily chores, so please take good care of yourself." Lao Zhao reluctantly patted his back and let out a deep sigh before leaving. So it's like this. Lin Hun suddenly felt relieved. Under Zhao Tu's care, he was like a shadow, putting on makeup every day, eating, being on duty, taking a shower, and chatting. Walk with your head down and eat quietly. Smiling faces greet people, turning off lights at night. Go in his own prison, practicing every day. The greatest advantage of being a white soldier in a prison is that as long as no one dies, there are no daily chores. It is not up to the white soldiers to interrogate and transfer prisoners within the prison. These things are all done by black soldiers, white soldiers are not qualified. Only when encountering eerie events related to corpses or those that may result in death, can the pitiful, white soldier, take the lead. On the 10th day, after a lifespan of 70 years of feeding, Lin Sol's meridians and blood flow throughout his body are unobstructed and robust, reaching the level of blood flow like mercury recorded in the skin roll. His blood vessels become thicker and his blood rushes like a river. On the 30th day, after feeding for 210 years of lifespan, successfully reached the solid body rock. The body is as strong as a rock, with bones, fascia, bone marrow, skin, and other areas greatly strengthened. Scratching the skin with an ordinary knife can only leave a white mark. Ordinary swords like yamen runners and constables can no longer break the defenses of the forest soul. On the 50th day, after a lifespan of 350 years of feeding, successfully reaching the 9 bowls of the power cauldron, the strength greatly increases, and every move contains explosive power. The stone lion weighing 3,000 pounds at the entrance of the heavenly prison can be lifted by Lin Sol with just one hand. Reaching the middle stage of the martial realm. Chapter 4. Going to the black jail and sewing shredded corpse. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The days of Baizu in the prison are very dull and plain. What flows away every day is not only time but also the health and life of the white soldiers. But as hereditary white soldiers, their ancestors have come this way for generations. Cultivated a life of indifference and timely enjoyment among the white soldiers. Zhao too and his team will gather together to play with money as long as there is no task. But since Lin Hun obtained the Jian Shou Yanggu Fa, his life has been revitalized. Put on dead person makeup every day to cover up his now tiger-like body. After finishing breakfast that day, Lin Sol arrived at a gate of Baizu in Gui district with a complete set of corpse collection equipment, silently waiting. This gate is covered with formation symbols. It is the only channel connecting the white and black areas of the heavenly prison. The prison is divided into white soldiers and black soldiers. White soldiers, dealing with corpses. Collecting, resisting, driving, sewing, and burning corpses. Black soldiers, dealing with prisoners. Interrogation, detention, delivery of food, forced confession, interrogation. The white and black soldiers, separated by this talisman gate, have a clear distinction. Today I received a notice from the black soldier that there are black soldiers dying in the prison and white soldiers need to collect their bodies. Coincidentally, it was Lin Sol's turn to be on duty. He finished breakfast and waited here early. This door can only be opened from the side of the black soldier. It is evident that black soldiers hold a much higher status than white soldiers. After about a cup of tea, Jia. The door was pushed open, revealing the head of a prison guard. Oh, you're so eye-catching. It shouldn't take long to take over your father's job, right? This black soldier is only in his 20s, and when he talks, he is very old and full of vigor. Yes, please lead the way. Lin Sol took out his cane and placed it horizontally in front. Oh, I'm still blind. Blind. Oh, you said you were born into a Baizu family, which is already a tough fate, but you're still blind. My name is Gu Tianfu. Since I was young, my mother has always said that my fate is difficult. I didn't expect to see someone today who is even more unfortunate than me, Gu Tianfu. Let's go, follow me. There are many terrifying beings imprisoned in our black prison. Don't wander around like a blind person, otherwise you will be torn apart by those strong ones. It's not my fault for taking care of Tianfu. The black soldiers in the prison refer to the area they manage as the black prison. Perhaps it's to distinguish the area from the white soldiers. Gu Tianfu chattered incessantly and bent down to pick up the front end of Lin Sol's cane. Pulling his cane, he led Lin Sol forward. He is also a warm-hearted guy. Lin Sol allowed Gu Tianfu to grasp his cane and lead him ahead. With every step taken, a footprint begins to light up in the memory palace in my mind. Slowly strung together into a tunnel of heaven and hell. Gu Tianfu led Lin Sol for a while and arrived at a prison cell. He stopped at a distance, covering his nose and not moving forward. Brother Gu, have you arrived yet? Now that Lin's soul has reached the middle stage of the martial arts realm, his sense of smell has also been greatly improved. I have long smelled the familiar smell of corpses among the white soldiers. Death in the black prison is the most common, but it's not surprising. Hey, here we are. Take 10 steps forward and turn left. There are broken corpses in that cell that you need to deal with. Hey, since I was young, my mother has always said that my fate is hard. Even if I were a hereditary black soldier, I still have such a job today. Gu Tianfu chattered incessantly. Lin's soul took 10 steps forward according to his words and turned left. Touching the door of the prison cell, the smell of corpse grew stronger. He changed into a white soldier's work uniform and lit 3 incense sticks in the southeast corner of the prison cell. Unfair has its head and debt has its owner, making a living is beyond our control. Touch your body. Don't blame me, don't blame me. Blessed by the gods. Early ascent to the paradise. Then he lowered his head and started working. Try to pretend to be slow and fumble through the work. In fact, from the moment he stepped into the cell where the incident occurred, he had already opened the eyes of the night owl. Like daylight in the darkness. The cell where the incident occurred was dark, and no one dared to come and light the lights. Lin Hun's night owl eyes gradually became clear. He deliberately lowered his head to prevent anyone from seeing his eyes. The eyes gradually become able to see things. Fragmented corpses scattered all over the place. The ground and walls of the cell were covered in splattered blood. Bones, body fragments, and broken skin scattered all over the ground. Stepping on a piece of clothing under my feet. The uniform of the black soldier. It looks like it was torn apart by some kind of strange force. Did the deceased black soldier be torn alive by the prisoner held in this cell? It should be like this. Lin's soul pretended to be groping on the ground, piecing together fragments of corpses. So a corpse. It is also a work task of the white soldier in the heavenly prison of the Zhengui Sea. Why does this white soldier have a hereditary system? One is for loyalty and reliability. The second reason is that Bai Zhu's skills such as collecting, sewing, and collecting corpses are all inherited from his family. So at this moment, Lin's soul's convergence of fragmented corpses appears very professional. Lord Wei, why did you come here? Gu Tianfu was startled by the sound of footsteps and turned his head to look. A middle-aged man with a tiger back and a bare waist, a tall stature, and a cold and stern face walked briskly. Unlike prison guards who generally have pale and bloodless faces. This adult has a rosy complexion and strong vitality. Glancing lightly at Gu Tianfu, he let out a "hmm." The latter bowed respectfully. Lord Wei is the official historian of the Black Prison, second only to the supervisor. On weekdays, the supervisor does not manage the daily affairs of the Black Prison. The official in charge of historical records is fully responsible for management. So this Lord Wei has a very high status in the Black Prison. Gu Tianfu didn't expect him to appear here. Lord Wei remained silent and silently watched Lin's soul, who was collecting corpses, 10 steps away. Little brother Bai Zhu, what can be analyzed from this fragmented corpse? Lord Wei suddenly spoke up and asked. Lin Hun's organization belongs to Bai Zhu, and the guards in the Black Prison cannot control him. So what Lord Wei said was quite polite. Report to Lord Wei, the body has been shattered into 20.8 pieces. Based on the analysis of skin and fascia tears, it should have been torn apart by some kind of strong force. Lin's soul answered truthfully. Of course, it concealed the splattering of blood on the walls of the cell that I could see. This person is a black soldier from my Black Prison. While delivering food, he was tempted by the culprit to open the chain and was torn apart on the spot. Although banned, he is in the same robe. Little brother Bai Zhu, please try your best to sew the body with care and let the same robe go intact. Lord Wei said slowly. Gu Tianfu behind him was slightly stunned. The towering Lord Wei actually came to the scene for a black soldier who was killed for violating the ban. Even asked by Zhu to treat the body well. At this moment, Lin Sol collected all the broken corpses and took out a set of sewing tools from his cloth bag. There are 108 specially made needles, big and small in total. Specially made thread, thick and thin, with a total of 9 rolls. There are more than 10 specially made ointment bottles, jars, and jars. The above are all refined by the Zhengui and distributed for use by the Baizu. His work did not stop, and he replied. Please rest assured, Lord Wei. This is within Baizu's responsibility. Although the white soldiers and black soldiers belong to different families, they all belong to the Zhengui, and they are all in the same robe. I will do my best to ensure that this brother is fully buried. He spoke softly, but full of confidence. Lord Wei nodded secretly and watched as Lin Sol sewed the corpse. Lin Sol first took out a large needle, which was called the bone-breaking needle. Skillfully put on thicker specially made thread and first sew the torn bone together with a bone-breaking needle. Because it was refined by the Zhengui using special materials and techniques. A bone-piercing needle can easily pass through hard skull, leg bones, etc., and sew together fragmented corpses. The thread is transparent and cannot be seen when inserted into the body. After the completion of the large bone splicing, the previously fragmented body can now be seen as a human. But due to severe damage to the face, skin, etc., the original appearance cannot be seen. Next, we need to replace it with a slightly thinner needle called a threading needle. As the name suggests, this needle and thread sew together the fascia, viscera, and outer skin one by one. A stitch on a thread. Wonders manifest themselves. Slowly, I took on a human-like appearance. Lin Hun's hands are very steady, he does not rush or slow. Strive to restore the body of this black soldier to the highest level possible. Chapter 5. The Wukou Divine Power is called Gu Si, and the martial artist cultivates the name Gao Duan. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Gudong. Standing behind Lord Wei, Gu Tianfu saw Baizu sewing a corpse for the first time. I saw a blind man slowly stitching up a dismembered body into the shape of a human. I couldn't help but feel unbelievable about Baizu's craftsmanship. Lord Wei is here, and he dare not say much. I had to swallow a mouthful of saliva to show my respect. Lin Sol felt Lord Wei as soon as he arrived. This person gives him a feeling like a big mountain. Standing there motionless gave him a terrifying feeling. Lord Wei must be a person who practices sorcery. Cultivation is like the sea in the abyss, unfathomable. Lin Sol, in the middle stage of the martial arts realm, surprisingly felt a baby-like sense of powerlessness in front of Lord Wei. We still need to practice sorcery. Mystery is the fundamental way to survive in this eerie world. For example, the torn body of this black soldier is clearly not the work of ordinary people. The horror of this world has just opened a corner to Lin Sol. Lin Sol collected the tendon-piercing needle and took out the 3 thinnest needles. These 3 needles are called Shashan 3 needles, which means that after using them, they will reshape the original charm of the corpse. Lin Sol used the Shashan 3 needles to repair the torn skin, eyeballs on the face, scalp, and other parts of the deceased one by one. After he put away the Shashan 3 needles, a corpse that was 8 times similar to his original body appeared in front of the 3 people. Lord Wei nodded secretly as he looked at the complete body of the black soldier. But this is not yet completed. Lin Hun once again took the specially made ointment from the Zhengui and began to apply it on the face of the corpse. The traces of needle and thread stitching gradually disappeared under the cover of a special ointment. The expression of fear before death was also erased. The face of the corpse turned red and shiny. A sleeping black soldier's body appeared before the 3 of them. Lin Sol finished all this and bowed 3 times with his hands clasped together towards the complete corpse. Serve death as an attendant. Respect the deceased. This is a professional quality imprinted in Baizu's bones. In traditional culture, life and death are both absolute events. It must be highly valued. I'll go. Gudong. Gu Tianfu saw the previous scattered corpses and, under the exquisite craftsmanship of Lin's soul, transformed into a sleeping, complete person. He was shocked beyond measure. A sentence, I'll go, travels the world. Great, come and bring the black soldier brothers down for burial. White Zhu, how do you call him? Lin's soul's exquisite sewing techniques won the favor of Lord Wei. Take the initiative to ask for his name. Report to Lord Wei that the soul of Baizulan is under the jurisdiction of Zhao Tu in Gui district. Lin's soul replied. He put away his needles, thread, ointment, and other things and went to the light outside the prison. There are countless formations imprinted inside the prison. Oil lamps are lit with specially made sea fish oil from the North Sea and will not go out all year round. Lin's soul regained the blind man's eyes under the lamp, took off his specially made cowhide clothes, and put them into Baizu's carry-on bag. Blind. At this moment, only Wei De could see that Lin Hun was born blind. His expression twitched slightly and then returned to normal. Okay, Lin's soul, you're very good. Without further ado, he turned around and left. Farewell to Lord Wei. Gu Tianfu said respectfully from behind. At this moment, Lin's soul completed everything and took the cane as a signal to leave. Hey, I didn't expect your Baizu's craftsmanship to be so exquisite. Unfortunately, you deal with corpses every day and are naturally short-lived creatures. Let's go, I'll take you back. Gu Tianfu pulled the front end of Lin's soul's cane. Two people are moving forward in the passage of the black prison. Despite walking once, Lin's soul can remember the future path clearly. But he still allowed Gu Tianfu to lead him forward. Hey, I thought I was born into a black soldier family and my life was tough enough, but I didn't expect to find out today when I saw the white soldier brothers. Your lives are even harder. Hey, that torn black soldier big brother, our child is not yet an adult, what should we do? Hey, Black Stroke imprisons so many terrifying people and eerie creatures. We ordinary black soldiers are just risking our lives every day. If only we could cultivate mysterious techniques like Lord Wei. Gu Tianfu chattered and muttered to himself. Lin's soul followed behind without saying a word. Practice mysterious techniques. It is necessary to cultivate into sorcery as early as possible. Only then can we protect ourselves in this dark prison. Otherwise, it is very likely to be like the black soldier who sewed his own body just now. Torn apart by eerie creatures. Finally returned to the door covered with talismans. Gu Tianfu originally wanted to pat Lin Hun's shoulder. But as soon as he thought he had just restrained himself, sewed up a dismembered body, and then awkwardly withdrew his hand. Little brother, we'll see each other later. Let's live well. Gu Tianfu felt that the Lin soul in front of him was too pitiful. Born blind, still born into a white soldier family. Such a person is really even more unfortunate than oneself. Oh, by the way, little brother, I forgot to tell you that my Gu Tianfu nickname is Lingji Star. There is nothing I don't know about the Zhengui Sea. If there is anything, feel free to ask me anytime. In the future, if Gu Tianfu is torn apart, I will order you, Lin Soul, to collect and sew the corpse. You will definitely sew it better than the person just now. Gu Tianfu expressed his appreciation to Lord Wei for Lin Hundu. And marveled at his skill in sewing corpses. I always feel that this calm young Baizu may have a different future. So before parting ways, he said an extra sentence. It can also be considered a good fate. Lin Hun nodded with a smile and said. Thank you very much, Brother Gu. I will definitely come to see you if there is anything. Pushing open the door, I returned to the area of Baizu. I reported today's task to Zhao Tu. Zhao too was playing with his brothers for money when he waved his hand and said, "Hurry up to the big bathhouse and wash it clean. It's good to rest in the dormitory." "Okay, Uncle Zhao." Lin Hun went to the big bathhouse. I stripped myself naked and searched for an extremely remote place. Sink into the warm water of the bathhouse and let the hot water wash away the bad luck from the whole body. The water overflowed over his head, and Lin Sol's thinking was particularly sharp. Baizu interacts with corpses every day and lives in the dark environment of the prison all year round. Sooner or later, strange and difficult things will happen. Strange murder is invisible. Although I am in the realm of martial arts, I still don't see enough when encountering strange things. To break through the current situation, it is definitely not enough to only enter the martial realm. Be sure to cultivate into a mysterious technique. As soon as he thought of the second layer of inviting Yin to visualize, in the Jianshou Yanggu method he unexpectedly obtained, his heart became hot. Please enter the Yin realm, which is the true entry point for practicing mystical techniques. The martial realm is just the basic method for polishing the body. Be sure to cultivate into the advanced martial realm as soon as possible, and then find a way to enter the inviting Yin realm. Continuing to live an ordinary life like this. That night, Lin Sol was particularly excited. Because tonight is his 71st night of practicing the Jianshou Yanggu method. Tonight, if we feed for another 7 years, we will have a total lifespan of 500 years. To achieve the state of initial achievement as stated in the Dharma. The benefits of being a white soldier in the prison are very obvious. The rest of the Zhengui people avoided them, so naturally no one came to disturb these white soldiers. This allows Lin Sol to simply say hello to Zhao Tu and calmly hide in his own dungeon to contemplate and practice. In his imagination, a familiar grinding wheel reappeared in his spiritual world. The colorful lifespan was thrown into the grinding disc, and 7 drops of emerald green water fell into his body. But tonight is different from usual. As 7 drops of water entered the body, something began to change in the grinding disc. 100-legged bipedal centipede slowly crawled out of its grinding eyes. Black body, iron wings, steel teeth. Lin Hun knew that this was the first Gu insect he had raised. 100 feet. At the same time, Lin Sol obtained a 4th ability. Invincibility from all kinds of poisons. The 100 feet flew out and nodded at Lin Sol 3 times before merging into his left hand. Lin Sol felt like he was instantly connected by flesh and blood with this 100-legged centipede, and he became the owner of it. As long as you have one thought, let it live and let it die. Absolute control over the centipede. The ability of Baizu also flooded into his mind in an instant. Guangmu, iron body, 10,000 poisons. Guangmu corresponds to the ability to spy. Iron body corresponds to the ability of steel tendons and iron bones. 10,000 poisons correspond to the ability of poison. Continuing to feed for a longer lifespan in the future, this centipede will continue to grow and possess more abilities. At the same time, a tattoo resembling a centipede's mouth appeared at the mouth of his left tiger. It is called Wukou. The first ability is called Accommodating Objects. Within a centipede's mouth, it forms a square and circle. There is a storage area of 10 square meters inside. You can hide things into the Wukou without knowing it. He gently swept his left hand over his own sewing needle. The sewing needle disappeared and entered the centipede mouth. On a whim, the sewing needle appeared in place again. Collect things as you please. Wukou also has a second powerful ability. Gu Si. It can release mysterious Gu power from it and inject it into Lin Sol's body, causing its strength to briefly leap to the Yin realm. Short duration and significant side effects. Do not use this Gu Si ability in idle situations. At this point, Lin Sol obtained his first Gu Shentong. Wukou. Accepting objects and worshipping Gu. And as his realm improves, the Gu Shentong will continue to advance. At this point, Lin Soul's practice of Jianshou Yanggu method has completed its small accomplishment. He has acquired 4 abilities. Blood flowing like mercury, a solid body, a powerful tripod and 9 oxen, and invincibility from all kinds of poisons. The first Gu insect was raised. The 100-legged centipede. Obtained the first Gu Divine Power. Wukou. The realm has also reached a high level of martial arts. Continuing to practice the Jianshou Yanggu method will break into the Inviting Yin realm. Entering the next realm can cultivate more Gu insects and obtain more Gu divine powers. Nowadays, Lin Soul has preliminarily laid the foundation for survival. Great, I have entered the advanced stage of the martial arts realm today, and I have the power to protect myself in this prison. Finally, I can open the pleasing visualization chart to see what's going on. Entering the Yin realm is considered the true cultivation of magic. The anxious Lin Soul immediately began to examine the pleasing visualization picture. The visualization diagram, luck diagram, and cultivation techniques began to operate organically in Lin Soul's mind. But just as I unfolded my visualization, Lin Soul's body shook. Forcefully interrupted by some mysterious force. A small character appears. After breaking the martial arts realm, please meditate in Yin and use the mysterious source as an aid. The source of mystery is also the source of mystery. Different techniques lead to different sources of deception. For example, using the eerie source of a person who practices sorcery by alienating their own body parts as a body organ, using the eerie source of a person who practices sorcery by sacrificing their precious object as a precious object, and using the eerie source of a person who practices sorcery by visualizing something as a visualized object. The tricks are different, and the tricks they require are also different. In the Jianshou Yanggu method, if you want to break through the Yin realm, you need to practice with the eerie Gui Jing of the same realm. Surprisingly, it's like this. The pleasing visualization diagram provides Lin Hun with more information about mysterious techniques. To break through the Yin realm, one must have a mysterious source. And the Jianshou Yanggu method that one cultivates requires a strange, mysterious crystal, called Inviting Yin realm, as the source of mystery. The source of mystery is easy to understand. In simple terms, it is the source of practicing mystery techniques. What is that eerie crystal? Lin Hun still can't figure it out at the moment. Go ask the old teacher from that academy again. Not appropriate. A blind white soldier who keeps asking about sorcery will inevitably make the old man suspicious. Go to the academy to borrow some books and come back. It's even more inappropriate. A blind person reading a normal person's book would not be revealing the secret of being a night owl to the public. Let's consider in the long run. In this way, Lin Hun painted himself weak makeup with the ointment he used to apply to the corpse in the daytime, and acted low-key with Baizu. When there is nothing to do, he plunged into his own grave to consolidate his cultivation in the advanced martial realm. But the mysterious crystal, about inviting the Yin realm, has never had an expression. Without eerie crystals, Lin Soul cannot advance to the Yin realm and practice eerie techniques. Unable to advance to the Yin realm, always staying at the level of a warrior. This world is incredibly eerie. Without the ability to practice sorcery, there is no guarantee of life. The matter of inviting the mysterious crystal of the Yin realm has always been pressing on his mind. Difficult to sleep day and night. Tea and rice are thoughtless. Chapter 6. Night exploration of the heavenly prison and underground, scared by the accumulation of white bones. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. A centipede crawls back and forth on Lin Soul. I have a very close relationship with him. This is the first Gu insect raised by Lin Soul after entering the advanced stage of the martial realm. Having a blood connection with him and a harmonious heart. Guangmu, iron body, 10,000 poisons. It is the ability of this martial arts realm insect. This night is the 15th day of the lunar calendar. Lin Hun finished dinner in a low profile as usual and returned to his cold and desolate dormitory. At around midnight, even Zhao too and the others who were playing with money fell asleep. Lin's soul opened the eyes of the night owl in absolute darkness. That eye was burning brightly in the darkness, eerie and difficult to see. Go. Lin's soul gently issued a command in his mind. With a whoosh, he plunged into the ground and disappeared without a trace. After Bai Zhu disappeared, Lin's soul began to share Bai Zhu's field of vision. The master shares the same field of view with the Gu insect, which was only recently discovered by Lin's soul. With 100 steps forward, the situation of the dungeon and underground was clearly visible in Lin's soul's eyes. Lin Hun has conducted experiments. Even during the day, Lin Hun is purely blind and can share the vision of Gu Bu. According to Lin Hun's understanding, this shared perspective should be directly applied to the mind, not constrained by the retina. Today is the first time that Lin's soul has dispatched 100 feet to inspect the situation in the heavenly prison. It doesn't matter at first glance, but it scared Lin's soul. Bai Zhu's ability to break through soil is extremely strong, and walking underground feels like entering an uninhabited realm. As the 100 feet advanced, Lin's soul unexpectedly saw terrifying scenes one after another. 5 zhang below the dungeon, there were actually white bones scattered all over. These white bones come from different species. There are humans, huge monsters, and even some forest souls who have never seen huge white bones of unnamed species layer by layer, covering a whole layer. On these white bones, Lin's soul saw familiar talismans one after another. These talismans also bear the imprint of the Zhengui. But it is completely different from the corpse control talisman issued by the Zhengui Bureau to the corpse collector. These talismans feel more advanced and powerful. Sticking to the forehead of these white bones seems to be suppressing them for eternity. Killed by the Zhengui during his lifetime. After death, he was taken care of by the Zhengui. This is Lin Hun's most intuitive feeling. His 100 feet felt that there should be another cave beneath these layers of white bones. But in the face of this terrifying skeleton, Lin's soul ultimately chose to command Bai Zhu to retreat. It's too eerie to act rashly. That is to say, 5 zhang underground beneath the prison guarded by white and black soldiers today. Surprisingly, there is a hidden place in the heavenly prison of the Zhengui. The detention there should be eerie. This is Lin Hun's intuition. Perhaps only by burying deep in such a place and suppressing it with a white bone formation above the head can we imprison the eerie. Stay away from this white bone formation. Bai Zhu continued to move forward, although extremely cautious. In the end, Bai Zhu, controlled by Lin's soul, did not walk much. Because when walking 100 steps forward, it was discovered that there were actually white bone pagodas, about 1 zhang high buried in each of the 4 aspects of the dungeon underground, east, west, north, south. This white bone pagoda is even more eerie and terrifying. The tower body is made of white bones, and skulls hang on the tower rocks. On the top of the tower, there are different white bone 4 divine beasts fighting each. Dongqinglong, Zibehu, Nanshyuk, Baixuanwu. However, compared to the solemnity and sanctity of the 4 divine beasts, these 4 white bones appear ferocious and eerie. It seems to be a formation that tightly guards the underground dungeon and even the dungeon space under the white bone formation. This further confirmed one thing for Lin's soul. In the 5 zhang land beneath the prison, there is a terrifying eerie being imprisoned under the vast array of white bones. The top is to suppress it with the Zhengui, making it impossible for it to escape forever. The Dayu dynasty, as well as the Zhengui and the prison he was in, were becoming increasingly mysterious and unpredictable in Lin's soul's eyes at this moment. You must obtain the mysterious crystal. Advance to the Yin realm as soon as possible and practice stronger sorcery skills. Just as Lin's soul was slightly distracted. The white bone Xuanwu on the northern white bone pagoda where Baizu is located suddenly opened his snake eyes. White bone snake eyes. Yu seems. Ah. Lin Hun felt a momentary daze in his mind, as if something like a sledgehammer was fiercely hitting his head. Ji. Baizu was startled by the sudden Xuanwu snake eye, and his whole body shook. Hurry up. Lin Huanxiang propped his head up and gave orders to Baizu. More than 100 centipede legs scraped the soil together, quickly rushing back. Fortunately, Xuanwu behind did not continue to attack. Baizu finally escaped back. The startled Baizu returned to Lin Sol's side and immediately disappeared into his body. Fortunately, the Gu insect has a special physique, and after being severely injured, it only needs to cultivate in the host's body for a few days to recover to its original state. How terrifying! At first glance, Lin Hun almost destroyed a corner of the underground world of the Zhengui. At this moment, I am increasingly aware of the strength of the Zhengui. I dare not use my 100 feet to pry around again in the future. These 4 white bone divine beasts in the underground world are truly capable of launching attacks. Lucky this time, Baizu was only injured and did not die. It also reminded Lin Sol. The current strength of Lin Sol is still too weak, and one cannot casually spy on the terrifying and powerful Zhengui. Otherwise, there will be backlash. It's a big deal to expose one's true strength and attract experts to inquire about the secret of one's longevity, as it's a minor matter of being targeted by backlash. You still have to be careful and careful again. The essence of Godao lies in its lewd development and cannot be lightly swayed. The days of Baizu passed by as plain as water. Safe and sound. It's on how. On this day, Gui district suddenly experienced a stir-fry. Someone is calling on all the Baizu brothers from Gui district to come out and discuss important matters. Lin Hun hurriedly walked out of the pawn house to investigate the situation. Tengu, what's going on? Take your time to say it. It's just that, in such a hurry, what exactly happened? Today, there were 6 white soldiers on duty who had not returned. At this moment, a nearly 40-year-old man was anxiously asking around the middle. The person surnamed Teng, who was surrounded by the crowd, was of the same age as Zhao Tu. If Zhao Tu is not around on weekdays, everyone habitually asks him about anything. At this moment, Lao Teng is sitting on the ground with his head in his arms. Shoulders twitching, as if crying. Teng, if there's anything you need to say, hurry up. We're so anxious. Someone gave Lao Teng a push. Lao Teng just lifted his head and said in pain. It's Zhao Tu. Zhao Tu. Upon hearing that it was Zhao Tu, Lin Sol's heart skipped a beat. In the prison, one is most afraid to hear such news. Basically, it's not good news. Baizu himself deals with corpses every day, and it's only a matter of time before he encounters any misfortunes. I didn't expect it to be Zhao Tu this time. Zhao Tuping is kind to people every day, and many of the white soldiers under his opponents have protection. The main reason is that the white soldiers have their own small circle, where they help each other and are close as brothers. Zhao Tu. What's wrong with him? Lao Teng hugged his head and said in great pain. Today Zhao Tu went to the black prison to collect his body, but was injured by hidden corpse poison. At this moment, they have already been carried home. Everyone. Hurry up and meet Zhao Tu for the last time. Corpse poison. Lin Sol frowned tightly. Death from corpse poison is one of the reasons for the highest mortality rate in White Stroke. I didn't expect experienced Zhao Tu to encounter this. Chapter 7. Goodbye Zhao Mei'e, corpse-poisoned old Zhao Tu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When everyone heard that Zhao had been poisoned in the head, their faces immediately turned extremely painful. The evil of corpse poison. It's a heart attack. Corpse venom will rapidly invade the heart along the heart meridian. For a maximum of 3 days, a person who has been poisoned by a corpse will die. Those who died from corpse poisoning need to have peachwood nails pierced through the heart of the corpse to prevent it from turning. And the body cannot enter the ancestral forest. It must be handed over to the heavenly prison of the Zhengui Sea to burn the corpse furnace clean. After death, I couldn't even find a corpse. This is the least desirable way of death for the white soldiers. Unfortunately, he was met by Zhao too. Everyone wiped away their tears and left Lin Sol on duty in Gui district. The others quickly went to visit Zhao too. At night, the crowd returned to Gui district with their heads down. A desolate wind and bitter rain, with no one to say much. Lao Ting came over and patted Lin Sol's shoulder, saying sorrowfully, "Lin Han, Zhao Tu usually takes good care of you and is good friends with your father. Go and see him for the last time, hey." Lin Han nodded and said hello to the other white soldiers. Silently picking up his cane and sign, he left the prison and arrived outside the Zhengui Sea. Zhao Tu has his own home outside the Zhengui Sea. Due to their hard work, the white soldiers receive generous salaries. Zhao Tu's home is located in the north of the city, in a large mansion. Zhao Tu's home was often visited by his father when he was young, so he was familiar with the road. Dong dong dong. Lin Sol knocked on the door. After a long time, a woman's voice came. "Who?" Upon hearing the familiar voice, Lin Sol was slightly stunned. "Zhao Mei'e. A memory of my childhood comes to mind." Zhao Mei'e is 3 years older than Lin Han. Due to the fact that both families belong to the Baizu family and have a good paternal relationship. So Zhao Mei'e and Lin Han played together from childhood to adulthood. The two families originally intended to match these two childhood sweethearts and matched families together. However, later on, Lin Han's predecessor was really immature and spent his days wandering with a group of mischievous thugs. Even Lin Sol's father couldn't bear to watch. "I really can't control this son who is not doing his job properly, and I'm afraid it will delay Mei'e's good years." Coincidentally, the son of another Baizu family entrusted a matchmaker to come to the Zhao family to mediate, and Lin Han's father tried his best to persuade the Zhao family to agree to the marriage. Originally, Zhao Tu wanted Zhao Mei'e to marry Lin Han. However, the predecessor of Lin Sol is really such a jerk that even my father can't bear to watch it. The most important reason is that both parents are well aware and have not pointed it out. That is to say, Lin Han is blind, while Zhao Mei'e stands tall and beautiful. Although these two people grew up together since childhood, they grew up with age and physical growth. The gap between the two is getting wider and wider. In a simple sentence, Lin Sol's predecessor was like a weak chicken, not worthy of the beauty Zhao Mei'e. Later, Zhao Mei'e married someone else's wife, and Lin Huanhu mixed up, never seeing each other again. Farewell on the same day. As if separated from another world. The door opened, and Zhao Mei'e's beautiful eyes tearfully saw that the person in front of the door was Lin Sol. She was momentarily stunned, and Lin Sol, whom she had not seen for many years, was right in front of her. Feeling a little excited, his extremely full chest trembled uncontrollably in front of him. "Lin Han's younger brother, is that you?" The sound of Lin Sol's younger brother seemed like a stranger far away from mountains and rivers, and also seemed like familiarity within reach. "Sister Mei'e, it's me. Long time no see, how are you doing, sister?" Lin Han asked a sentence that was neither far nor near. "Woo-woo." A warm and full body was thrown into Lin Sol's arms. Zhao Mei'e recently suffered multiple misfortunes when she saw Lin Han, who had grown up together since childhood, standing in front of her. All kinds of emotions instantly enter my heart. Just like a big stone thrown into the stagnant water of an ancient well. A huge sound and ripples rose up. Suddenly losing the solemnity of the past, he threw himself into the arms of Lin's soul and cried in pain. Lin Hun only felt a mature female body, slightly taller than herself, embracing her. That mature and full chest compresses oneself, possessing the ultimate elasticity. Although Lin Hun has seen a lot and knowledge, he is still slightly hot at this moment. Why do you see yourself so unrestrained even though you have already married someone? Lin's soul didn't know how to put his hands, so he had to hold his cane and stand there in a daze. Just at this moment, Lin's soul has a high-level cultivation in the martial arts realm. Despite applying ointment, it appears weak and pale from the outside. But the true blood flow of the body is like mercury, dragon heart and tiger veins, filled with explosive power like a furnace. He is no longer the weak chicken of the past. The strong release of male hormones made Zhao Mei'e, who was in her arms, unable to help but feel her heart racing and produce various fantasies. Zhao Mei'e's beautiful eyes flapped, and after becoming a woman for the first time, her figure was as plump as a ripe peach. At this moment, I suddenly feel that the man in my arms is no longer the carefree boy from childhood. She seemed to have thought of something, and her face suddenly turned red. Quickly leave Lin Hun's arms and take a glance at his slightly pale and weak face. I couldn't help but think to myself. Fortunately, he couldn't see it. Otherwise, my embarrassed appearance will definitely make him laugh. Lin Hun's younger brother, are you here to see my father? Zhao Mei'e, who had recovered a bit, asked. Yes, how is Uncle Zhao doing? This sentence once again touched Zhao Mei'e's joyful heart just now when she saw her childhood playmate. When I think of the suffering my father is suffering, then I think of my own hard life. Zhao Mei'e's heart once again plummeted to the bottom. Hey! Zhao Mei'e let out a heavy sigh. Heart path. Everything is fate. No one can control it at all. Perhaps this is fate born into a Baizu family. Zhao Mei'e habitually picked up Lin Hun's hand and headed towards the Zhao family. Zhao Mei'e's hands are soft and boneless, with slender fingers and delicate lines. Smooth and comfortable like holding a piece of soap. Lin's soul shook her head and gently pulled her hand out of Zhao Mei'e's hand. Sister Mei'e, I have fulfilled my duties as a white soldier. White soldiers' hands are not clean. The hands of Baizu are used to collect corpses. To outsiders, it is the most ominous. Pushi. I didn't expect Zhao Mei'e to burst out laughing at his words. Brother Lin Hun, don't follow me in this way. My family has been a white soldier for generations, even my deceased husband has been a white soldier. If Baizu is unlucky, wouldn't Zhao Mei'e be unlucky? Without hesitation, he grabbed Lin's soul's hand and closed the door of the Zhao family, leading him inside. That's true. That's not right. A deceased husband. Upon hearing these words, Lin's soul felt a thump in his heart. Sister Mei'e, who is so young and widowed. No wonder I felt like I had met a big relative, so I immediately threw myself into my arms and started crying. It turns out that she has gone through so many things over the past year. Since she is already a young widow, she doesn't mind holding hands and moving forward. Walking into the courtyard, Lin Hun's sensitive ears could hear a boy's sobbing from a distance. Judging by the sound, this is Zhao Junshan, the son of Zhao Tu. I am only 12 years old this year, and when I was a child, I was a follower of Lin's soul. Dad, Lin Hun has come to see you. Zhao Mei pulled Lin's soul into the master bedroom and whispered softly. Uncle Zhao, how are you? There is no light in this room, it is pitch black. It is said that people who have been poisoned by corpses are afraid of light, and water. So there is no light in the room. Lin's soul's night owl ability has awakened. First, I saw a beautiful woman right in front of me. Beauty is beyond measure. Chapter 8. Ending care for daughters, Uncle Zhao's life in danger. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Zhao Mei'e is in front of Lin's soul. From behind, Lin Soguang knew that she was definitely the best among young women. Long legs are youthful, powerful, and full of elasticity. Hip curling is like carrying an electric current, and any man can't extricate himself at a glance. The skin exposed at the back of the neck is fair, and the hair is as black as ink. There is also a pair of round double heights that captivate all men's dreams. How to look at it, Zhao Mei'e is the best among 18-year-old women. Women in the Dayu dynasty got married early. 18-year-old Zhao Mei'e has already emerged plump and beautiful. Zhao too lay weakly on the bed, with his left body wrapped in bandages. He tilted his head on the bed, weakly looking at the three children he was most concerned about before him. Lin Hun, you're here. What else can Uncle Zhao do? Anyway, it won't be 2 days since you're alive. The three of you kids, the one I'm most worried about is Xuan. He is only 12 years old, and after I die, he will serve as a white soldier for me in the Zhengui Sea heavenly prison. Lin Sol, you should take more care of him then. Zhao Tu's mother-in-law was bought from a barbarian land and is now crying silently outside the house, unable to speak. Zhao Tu despised her for not understanding etiquette and did not allow her to enter the house, only explaining the aftermath to his two children. Uncle Zhao, don't say that, you must be able to live a long life for 100 years. Hehe, Lin Sol, you are also a white soldier. Naturally, you know that you can only live for 3 days after being poisoned by a corpse. You don't need good words to comfort Uncle Zhao. Your Uncle Zhao's corpse poison has not yet penetrated your brain, and you are still quite sober now. With this free time, why not talk about Xuan? The death of Zhao Tu has become a foregone conclusion. But what he is most worried about is his own son. After all, my child is only 12 years old and hasn't had the chance to buy a house to stay with his wife. I just left like this, what should Xuan do? Uncle Zhao, with my Lin Sol all day long, I will ensure the safety of Xuan's younger brother. When Lin Hun remembered the scene of him, Zhao Mei'e, and Zhao Xuan playing happily together when he was young, he felt an inexplicable heat in his heart. Blurt out this sentence that should not have been easily promised. But once the words are spoken, they cannot be retracted. Hey, Lin Hun, you've been through a zombie explosion lately and you've gradually become more sensible. If you can say such things, Uncle Zhao, I'll die in peace. But our white soldiers are all short-lived species. If they can live to 40 years old and leave their descendants behind, they can earn it. How could they be safe and unharmed? Zhao Tu let out a mournful sigh. Overindulging in looking at the three children in front of me who I am most worried about. Despite not lighting up, he was accustomed to the darkness and could still vaguely see the figures of the three children. When I remembered, it was as if I had promised to protect Lin Sol before his father's death. I didn't expect it to be his own turn today. White death is ominous. A short life is like a fight. Zhao Tu sighed again, panting heavily. Sweat beads as big as beans kept falling from his face, his eyebrows furrowed, and he struggled to hold back the pain without making a sound. This is a manifestation of corpse poison attacking the heart. Dad. Zhao Xuan was still young, and he wept as he stepped forward to grab Zhao's hand. Zhao Tu's eyes were both affectionate, as he looked at the young child in front of him, tears streaming down his eyes. He hesitates to speak. Whenever I think of my 12-year-old son, I will replace myself and join by Zhu. All that awaits him is terrible misfortune. One can only blame oneself for being incompetent. Make it impossible for one's own son to escape being born into a Baizu family. Zhao Tu doesn't know what to say. At this moment, silence is better than words. Zhao gently touched his son's head and sighed to himself. Uncle Zhao, is there any way to detoxify the corpse? Lin Hun couldn't bear this kind of life and death separation. Especially the only person in this world who is good to oneself. Relieve the corpse poison. Hehe, except for the adults who have the ability to restrain soldiers, how can anyone else relieve the corpse poison? The brilliance in Zhao Tu's eyes flashed away. My face is covered in gray. Prohibiting soldiers can relieve the corpse poison. But in the eyes of the forbidden soldiers, the white soldiers are just low-level beings. How could they go to great lengths to work for the sake of being just a white soldier? Uncle Zhao, can the Imperial Guard remove the corpse poison from your body? Lin Hun could sense the meaning from Zhao Tu's hesitant words. Lin Sol, I know you're trying to save your Uncle Zhao's life. But our Baizu's life is already cheap. If we die a Baizu, it's like dying an old dog in a stinky ditch. The guards don't care, the prison doesn't care, and the Zhengui doesn't care. Zhao Tu's eyebrows furrowed tighter and tighter, and he was almost unable to control the excruciating pain of the corpse poison attacking his heart. Zhao Mei'e sighed on one side and picked up a cigarette bag from the table on the other side. Carefully take out some specially made tobacco from the small plate next to it and put it into the tobacco bag pot. Sting. Firestone ignites tobacco. The tobacco burns and produces smoke. Dad, here you are. Zhao Mei'e handed the cigarette bag to her father. Cough. Zhao Tu, who was in extreme pain, couldn't bear it anymore. He grabbed the cigarette bag that his daughter had lit and took 2 puffs. After the burning tobacco entered his lungs and merged into his blood, his pain was slowly numbed. Wild poisonous poppy. Lin Sol immediately smelled out what Zhao Tu was smoking tobacco. The wild poisonous poppy is a type of poisonous grass that has an anesthetic effect after being sun-dried, cut into shreds, ignited, and inhaled. Most of the white soldiers know about this thing. Zhao's head was attacked by the corpse poison, causing severe pain, so he had to resort to this strategy. Zhao Tu only recovered under the influence of the wild poisonous poppy. Zhao Mei'e couldn't bear her father's suffering and came behind him to pinch his head. Zhao Junshan cried and pinched his father's leg. Lin Sol, the forbidden adult's practice of sorcery will naturally be able to detoxify this corpse. But Zhao Tu saw that Lin's soul was not leaving, and he knew that time was running out. Say one more sentence to these 3 children. But what? Lin's soul asked after him. It is said that even the guards need to pay a certain price to detoxify their bodies. I have no relatives or connections with any guards. How could they be willing to pay the price to save me? Also, the Imperial Guards regarded Baizu as ominous, how could it be that they had stained their hands with the treatment of Baizu? Zhao Tu sneered at himself. Apologetically looking at his young son Zhao Junshan. A white soldier's life is low. Unexpectedly despicable to this point. Uncle Zhao, is there really no other way? Lin Sol asked unyielding. Lin Sol, don't have any extravagant expectations. Accept your life, uncle. I have already accepted my life. My 2 children are suffering. Mei'e is so beautiful and generous, but she was born into my Baizu family. Married a short-lived husband and died earlier than me. At a young age, he becomes a widow without even a child. My son Junshan is so small, he needs to go to the White Army for me. Hey, if only my old Zhao could live an extra 3 years. Junshan will become an adult. Hey. Zhao Tu has already accepted his fate. Using wild poison poppies to numb pain is just to survive for 2 more days. Lin Sol doesn't know what to say here. Lin Hun, go back early. I have more matters to tell that old lady about. Zhao waved his hand and smiled at Lin Sol. See through life and death. Then there is no fear of death. Chapter 9. Kindness of heart, my identity, and never accept her not her. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Lin Hun's terrifying, night owl eyes were firmly fixed on Zhao Tu in the darkness. There was a sense of relief and guilt on his face. Relieved, perhaps finally liberated. Guilt, of course, is towards one's own 2 children. He really doesn't care about his own death anymore. Hey, Lin's soul let out a deep sigh in the darkness. Brother Lin Hun, you haven't had dinner yet. Sister knows you will come to see Dad tonight. I made your favorite song yu bing, and there is still one left in the pot. Zhao Mei'e patted her father's shoulder and asked him to sleep for a while. Walk over and gently pull up Lin's soul's hand. In Zhao Mei'e's eyes, no matter how stubborn Lin's soul is, Lin Hun was still the younger brother who followed her with a runny nose when she was a child. I really like to eat song yu bing. Whether in the past or present life. But it turns out to be related to Zhao Mei'e. Lin Hun smiled and wanted to say a few more words to comfort Zhao too. But it was discovered that he had fallen asleep peacefully under the anesthesia of the wild poppy. Let's go, let Dad sleep. For him, being able to sleep now is the greatest liberation. Zhao Mei'e whispered softly. She took Lin Hun's hand and walked out of the door. Zhao Junshan fell asleep at his father's feet at some point. Zhao Mei'e and Lin's soul came to the kitchen. Brother Lin Hun, the yu bing, deep fried round and flat dough cake, is still cool when I cover it with a cloth. You can eat it with pickled vegetables. Zhao Mei put the yu bing, deep fried round and flat dough cake, in Lin's soul's hand. He put another pair of chopsticks in his hand and ordered the pickled vegetable plate below. There was an oil lamp in the kitchen, and Lin's soul turned blind again. He ate the familiar yu bing, deep fried round and flat dough cake, and pickles as a child, and his mind seemed to fly to the scene of playing with Zhao Mei'e. Sister Mei'e, you. Are you asking, will my husband be sad after I die? Lin Hun really wanted to comfort Zhao Mei'e, the new widow. I didn't expect her to be so outspoken. We were born into a Baizu family and have been bullied and called white corpse children by people around us since we were young. We can only intermarry with other white soldiers, perhaps we have been accustomed to bad luck since we were born. Zhao Mei'e gave a mournful smile. Lin's soul chewed the yu bing, deep fried round and flat dough cake, slowly, and his eyelids jumped slightly. Another one who accepts fate. In the face of fate, what other ways do ordinary people have besides accepting their fate? Lin Hun felt that there were indeed not many ways. If I hadn't traveled through time and had a permanent lifespan. Coincidentally, I obtained the Jian Shou Yanggu Fa, and I may also accept my fate. Sister Mei'e, I'm full and I'm going back to the prison to guard before curfew. Lin's soul silently ate all the yu bing, deep fried round and flat dough cake, and picked up the walking stick. Let's go, tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, you can take a last look at my dad. He can hold on until the third day at most. Zhao Mei'e's tears pattered down again. Well, maybe I won't be available tomorrow, but I'll definitely come the day after tomorrow. Lin Hun nodded and let her hand be led by Zhao Mei'e to leave the Zhao family. There was nothing to say along the way. Until she arrived at the entrance of the Zhao family, Zhao Mei'e, who was hesitant to speak, said. Brother Lin Hun, you grew up with me since childhood and are most familiar with me. Are you saying that Zhao Mei'e is a bad woman who overcomes her husband and father? Why do you say that? Hey, my husband just died and was driven back to his mother's house by his mother-in-law's family. However, after staying at her house for a few days, my father was poisoned again. I really. Zhao Mei'e couldn't hold on any longer, tears streaming down her face. Although no one said anything unpleasant to her parents and younger brother, kind-hearted Zhao Mei'e couldn't help but daydream. Lin's soul turned his head and thought for a moment. Then he said firmly. Sister Mei'e, you are definitely not such a bad woman who suppresses her husband and father. Lin Hun's voice was not loud, but his tone was firm. She gently tidied up her somewhat messy hair, revealing a rare smile. If you were that kind of woman, Uncle Zhao would have been killed by you long ago instead of just being poisoned by a corpse today. Perhaps being born into a Baizu family is enough for us to have a difficult life, but don't crush yourself. Lin Sol stepped forward and tightly grasped the hand of the suffering woman in front of him. Sister Mei'e, everything will be okay. Zhao Mei'e knew that this was Lin Hun's comforting words. I didn't expect this younger brother who played together since childhood to be so comforting. But I don't know why. This time I see this childhood sweetheart Lin Sol again, I always feel that he is different from before. Besides growing taller, lying in his arms felt like he was also sturdy. There is also an aura on her that makes her feel at ease. My little brother Lin Hun seems to have indeed grown up, taller, and stronger. Zhao Mei thought to herself. Sister Mei'e, I'll go back first. Be careful on the road. Zhao Mei watched with reluctance as Lin Hun's figure disappeared into the darkness. Zhao Tu's home is only 1 mile away from Zhengui. Lin Sol quickly returned to the heavenly prison of the Zhengui. He couldn't bear to see Uncle Zhao, the only one in the world who cared about him, die in such pain. Zhao Mei also brought back the beauty of their childhood play. Hey, even though I've traveled and changed my body, I'm still the one who likes to meddle and has a kind heart. He has made an important decision. He returned to his own grave and took some silver from his centipede mouth to carry in his arms. Since he repaired Wukou, he has put all the silver he has accumulated into it. He greeted the white soldier on duty. Arrived at a door covered with talismans. This door connects the black prison and the white prison of the heavenly prison. Dong dong dong. Lin Sol knocked on the door. What's up? An alert sound immediately came from behind the door. Gui District White Soldier Forest Soul, I want to talk to Black Soldier Gu Tianfu about something. Please be accommodating, we have our own rewards. Just as I was about to refuse behind the door, I heard my own reward slowly opening the door. Lin Sol quickly put the silver in his arms into the hands of the black guard on duty. The black soldier weighed his weight and was quite satisfied, saying, Wait here. Then he closed the door again and looked for Gu Tianfu. Fortunately, Gu Tianfu is also on duty today. Lin Sol silently waited for about a cup of tea time. The door opened again, and the black soldier on duty behind the door became Gu Tianfu. Is it you, Lin Sol? What are you looking for me for? Gu Tianfu was surprised to see Lin Sol standing motionless in the darkness. I remember Brother Gu, you said that you are the spirit star of the Zhengui, and there is nothing you don't know about the Zhengui, right? Lin Sol was pressed for time and asked directly. Upon hearing the 3 words, Lingji star, Gu Tianfu immediately raised his neck. He has a special channel of information and still has a good understanding of the affairs of the Zhengui. Not bad. Lin Sol, do you have anything to ask? Yes, there is indeed something going on. Okay, one question costs 1 or 2 silver. If you can't answer it, you won't be charged. Inquiring about information, surprisingly, they still need money. Upon hearing these words, Lin Sol not only did not feel angry but also smiled slightly. I'm afraid of owing a favor. Alright now, Gu Tianfu just needs to collect the money and it will be easy to handle. Things that can be solved with silver are not called problems. Bai Zhu received a generous salary, and Lin Hun's father left him enough money to spend. Sure. You can ask now. Gu Tianfu looked behind him with a sly expression, and after confirming that there was no one, he shrank his neck. How to detoxify an ordinary person who has been poisoned by a corpse? That's the problem. If an ordinary person is poisoned by a corpse, they will die within 3 days if the corpse attacks their heart and brain. If they want to detoxify the corpse, they must have. Gu Tianfu deliberately played a trick. Seeing Lin Sol in the dark shadow, he remained calm. He just rubbed his hands and said. There must be a mysterious crystal, in the Yin realm. Please, Yin realm mysterious crystal. A bolt of lightning hit the forest soul. Chapter 10. Knowing everything. Gu Tianfu, growing up with a bitter fate. Gu Tianfu. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Lin's soul hid in the dark shadow of the prison, unable to see his expression clearly. But after hearing Gu Tianfu say, "Please use the Yin realm crystals," his expression became noticeably vivid. It's really effortless to find a place to break through iron shoes. If you want to break through the realm, you must have a mysterious crystal when entering from the high level of the martial realm to the inviting Yin realm. If Uncle Zhao wants to detoxify, he must have a mysterious crystal that invites the Yin realm. There is no more coincidence in this world than this. I have never been able to figure out where to get the eerie crystal. I was able to learn the news from Gu Tianfu today. Where can I get the eerie crystal from the Yin realm? Lin Huanxiang suppressed his excitement and continued to ask. Gu Tianfu smiled contemptuously and said, "This is the second question. Pay with Alipay, but it doesn't matter. Do you know what Guijing is before saying where to get it? I don't know. This is the third question, here's the money for you." Okay, it's great. The so-called eerie crystal is a special material on eerie bodies. Its function is widely used, and for those who practice eerie magic, eerie crystals are even more precious. Because the eerie crystal is an excellent treasure that provides them with eerie energy quickly, and it is also a raw material for cultivating eerie weapons, talismans, and so on. In a simple sentence, Guijing is a common currency in the world of practitioners of sorcery. Extremely precious. I see. Guijing is actually a common currency in the world of sorcery. Brother Gu truly deserves to be a spiritual machine star, knowledgeable and transparent, I understand. Brother Gu, is it true that as long as the prison guards and I obtain the eerie crystal, we can become guards? Lin Hun threw a high hat over with a question attached. He is aware of this issue, but he wants to verify Gu Tianfu's messaging ability. Gu Tianfu chuckled and pointed to Lin Hun, saying, "This is the fourth question. This question needs to return to the root of trickery. Before the Dayu dynasty, many other dynasties were established and declined. But did you know, Lin Soul? Strange things existed long before humans appeared in this world. The eerie feeds on humans, and humans begin to learn from the eerie in order to survive. A strange person accidentally practiced a mysterious technique, opening up a new era of human survival. The root of sorcery comes from strangeness, so in order to cultivate sorcery, one must have a sorcery source. The so-called source of mystery is the source of practicing mystery. There are huge numbers and different types of mystery, so mystery is also different. To cultivate different sorcery, it is necessary to integrate different sources of sorcery. And the vast majority of its eerie sources come from eerie crystals. Only a small portion of the mysterious crystals are not the source of cultivating similar mysterious techniques, such as Buddhism and so on. Obtaining the mysterious source is just the first step in practicing the mysterious technique, and it also depends on whether the body can match the mysterious source, the necessary skills, and so on. The cultivation of sorcery is difficult, so the successful guards hold a high position in the Zhengui and are revered as sorcerers, with the strongest being called sorcerers. Gu Tianfu's explanation is very detailed, which is basically consistent with the information obtained by Lin Hun from the Jianshou Yanggu method. Also added some things that Lin Soul didn't know before. These 1 or 2 silver flowers are very valuable. Lin Soul nodded and said. So, returning to the second question, where can I get the eerie crystals from the Yin realm? To save Zhao too, one must have a cunning crystal. If you want to break into the inviting Yin realm, you must have the eerie crystal of the inviting Yin realm. Corpse Gu. Gu Tianfu saw that Lin Hun listened attentively, which can be considered as a respect for his own knowledge. Opening the mouth. Symptomatic medication can effectively cure the disease, with a wide variety of bizarre types and crystal structures. Having been poisoned by a corpse, one needs to use eerie crystals like corpse to detoxify. Sure enough. The main topic is here. There are many types of eerie things, and the eerie crystals born from different eerie things are also different. To detoxify a corpse, it is necessary to use the eerie crystals inside the corpse-type body. Unfortunately, if Lin's soul wants to break into the Yin realm, he must also have a mysterious crystal. The two surprisingly combine organically. Lin's soul's heart is burning with passion. There is a mass grave in 150 places south of the city. There are numerous corpses there, keep strangers away, and there is a lot of resentment. Every now and then, strange corpses will be born. Gu Tianfu mentioned a place. The birth of corpses is eerie. Is it a request for Yin realm? What Lin's soul needs is to invite the eerie crystal of the Yin realm corpse Gu, and this must be asked clearly. I see that your consumption is high today. The last question is whether you will receive any silver as a gift. Strange birth is the realm of inviting Yin. Only humans will have an additional realm of martial artists. Why are there more martial arts realms? Mainly due to the weakness of human flesh, it is difficult to carry out mystical practices without polishing and cultivation. The source of sorcery is eerie, and humans are just students of eerie. Strange is the indigenous people of this world, and it is normal for them to have a higher starting point than humans. Human beings need to polish their physical fitness in the realm of martial arts in order to merge eerie crystals with a strong physique and practice sorcery. To be honest, Gu Tianfu's explanation was very accurate and detailed. The basic information of the sorcery has been provided. Okay. Lin's soul took out the silver and handed it to Gu Tianfu. Is it kept confidential for guests? Lin's soul asked again. After hearing this, Gu Tianfu snorted and said in agreement. My greatest integrity in Gu Tianfu's business is to keep secrets for customers. Don't worry, our gold medal reputation is absolutely confidential. Then rest assured. Lin's soul bid farewell to Gu Tianfu. Brother Lin's soul, you must live well. I admire your skills in collecting, sewing, and collecting corpses. My mother has always said that my fate is hard since I was young. One day, Gu Tianfu was torn apart, so you must come and collect my body for me. Gu Tianfu shouted from behind. Lin's soul waved his hand and said, definitely. Gu Tianfu scratched his head and looked at the back of Lin's soul who had left. Murmured, I always feel like this guy will live longer than me, Gu Tianfu. Isn't Bai Zhu a short-lived species? It's a strange feeling. The door closes behind you. Lin Hun returned to Gui district and found Old Teng to take 2 days off. Lao Ting mistakenly thought he was going to take care of Zhao too, so he took leave and asked him to busy himself. Lin Hun went to the public bathhouse to take a bath. I immersed myself in the water and made a detailed deduction about what I would do tomorrow. The next day, smell the chicken and get up. The big rooster raised in the kitchen crowed for the first time, and Lin's soul left the Zhengui Sea with the sign. I first went to the iron shop and bought 2 heavy axes, wrapped them in cloth and carried them on my back. Leave the main urban area and head southwest on those inconspicuous paths. At the beginning, people came and went, and he walked very slowly with his cane. Later on, when we arrived in a sparsely populated area, we quickly took off like flying. The physical fitness of the advanced martial arts realm is vividly displayed. Blood flows throughout the body like mercury, emitting a roar like a river. Let him tirelessly move forward with strong legs. As we walked in the direction suggested by Gu Tianfu, it became increasingly desolate. Gaga at noon, I heard the irritable crow not far away. The stench of rotting corpses filled the air. Here it is. A mass grave 150 miles away. Lin Hun found an old locust tree with a crooked neck and sat down. Quietly releasing 100 feet. With a whoosh of 100 feet, it disappeared into the ground and disappeared. Lin Hun pretended to rest on the big locust tree, but in reality, he opened up a shared view with Bai Zhu. The ground is covered in rotting corpses, all of which are highly decaying. Traveling at high speed, searching everywhere for the purpose of this trip. Please, the Yin realm is eerie.